Welcome. I'm thrilled you're here. We're going to start in a seated position, which I already said. I have my blocks nearby because I am going to use them throughout class. For this, for me, I'm going to start seated on a block, but only one. I want another one nearby. If your hips are tight or sitting in general is just tough for you, use what you have at your disposal. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. And as I mentioned, I really want you to try to feel connected to your seat, whatever that looks like for you. So take a moment, maybe even wiggle around into it and just notice what's touching the earth or the block or the mat for you. And we'll start as always with breath. So perhaps close your eyes, bring that gaze and focus inward. Just allow yourself to drop into the present moment. So you're arriving physically on the mat, but you're arriving internally to a place of calm, place of focus, trying to let sort of the rest of the world fall away for this next hour. So the breath I'm going to invite you to participate in is a nice, easy sighing breath. So you'll just inhale naturally at your own pace, preferably through the nose. And then to breathe out, you'll just let it go. It needn't be loud or over-exaggerated. It can be whatever you need it to be. But the focus is more on that long inhalation and then that letting go in the exhalation. As you inhale deeply, notice what naturally rises away from your root. So the shoulders may lift a little, the belly expands, the ribs rise. And then when you let it go with the everything just settles again. So every exhale is a reminder of where you are right now. Let's just try 3 more rounds of that. Maybe one more. And then just return to your natural rhythm of breath. If Ujjayi breathing is available to you, you know that sounding breath pattern that rushes past the palate. I invite you to take that breath. So today we're focusing on the root chakra, right? We have the chakra centers that run down the spine, and the root chakra is the base of it all. So at the very bottom of the spine. This sort of addresses our fight or flight response. It's a grounding chakra. It encourages vitality and stability. It's associated with our natural human desire for safety, for security, for our most basic needs, food, shelter, warmth. The color for this chakra is red. The element for this chakra, of course, is earth. So we're going to be focusing on what grounds us today. And the great thing about sort of unlocking the chakra or the power of this chakra is that when we are feeling that nice energy flow through the root chakra, we feel grounded, but it allows us to feel sort of free. So it gives us the foundation to fly. And that sounds just great to me today. If this chakra is out of whack, we tend to feel very scattered in our energy. We can feel anxious. We can feel low in energy or low in self-esteem. So it's a nice thing to try to bring into balance. So I hope when you leave class today, you feel a little more balanced, grounded, at ease, self-confident, things like that. All right. So on your next breath, just maybe call to mind a little focal point for your practice today. And we'll move on. So you may need to rearrange for our first posture. We're going to come into a sort of shallow straddle today. You could still be up on a block or a pillow if you like, but it would be nice to have one block available to you. So just keep that in mind. From here, sit sort of forward so that you feel your sitting bones, but your pelvis is not tucked under. It's tilted a little bit. So we're going to inhale, breathe the arms up overhead, maybe gaze up. Exhale, pull the hands down through heart center and just stretch the heart between the legs, just a little bit. Don't feel like you need to go too hard. 2 more times. Inhale, breathe up, gaze up, away from that rootedness. Exhale, hinge forward as you pull through your prayer hands. Maybe a little activity in the feet would be nice. 1 more time. Inhale, breathe up, gaze up, pull and hinge. Feel the belly connect here to keep your spine safe. Gorgeous. And gently release. On the next breath, we'll inhale and breathe up. And then as we exhale, we'll drop the left arm. You could come to a block or the floor to side bend over to the left. Stay here for a breath. Really think about opening your heart. Stretch your left fingers away from your right hip. Stretch your right fingers away from your right hip. Oh, so I still feel really grounded, really connected to the earth in the right sitting bone. And gently release. If you like the block, swivel it to the other side. Inhale, breathe up that left arm, set it in the shoulder, and exhale, fan the ribs over. So you're taking your rib cage and stretching it. Good. Reach left fingers away from left hip this time. Get long, and if anything, stay open to the ceiling, not rounded. Gorgeous. 1 more big breath here in that opposition, stretching, and then reach up. Beautiful. Let's keep the block right here, sort of on the outside of that right ankle. Inhale, breathe your arms up, nice and wide, and pull the palms toward each other right in front of the chest. That's it. Again, feel your rootedness and grow in the sides of the body. Inhale, stretch your fingers away from you, feeling that shoulder blades wrap apart. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulders into the spine, maybe sit even taller. Just 2 more times. Inhale, reach away from you. Broaden the back without slouching. Exhale, retract those shoulders. 1 more time. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, draw in. And then find neutral. Inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to twist to the right. And then we'll stretch that left hand forward. Now, here's where a block can come in handy. We're going to take the right hand and wrap it behind the low back. Now, you can hold the block inside or outside of your leg, or you might be able to grab your foot. Stay here so you're feeling this long spine hinging forward with rotation. Good. Grab where you feel you can stay grounded in the left hip, but still find length and rotation. 1 more breath here. And then gently release back to center and shake it out. If you liked the block, move it to the other side. Inhale, find those neutral shoulders once more, sitting tall. And then twist over to your left. Stretch that right arm ahead of you. Left hand comes behind the back. And see what you like to grab. Block, in or out, or leg. You can grab your ankle. You can grab your toes. Keep turning the heart open to the left. Try to really relax that left shoulder. Stay for 1 more breath here. Oh, and gently release. Gorgeous job. If you're sitting on a block, gently remove it. And it would be great to have 2 blocks here at the sides of your hips. So stretch through your legs. Really feel the sitting bones against the earth now with nothing underneath you, and stretch your legs so much, maybe even your heels float up off the mat a little bit. This is Dandasana, staff pose. It's all about energy up and out and feeling that lift away from the grounded center. Now here, see if you can feel your Mula Bandha, which is that sort of pelvic floor lift and lock. Hug the belly up and in toward the rib cage, up to the diaphragm. And if this doesn't work for you already, you must be so at ease. This is a lot of work for me, just sitting up straight, not getting locked in the hips, feeling that pelvic floor lift. But I'm going to add on to it by pressing down into the blocks and floating my hips up. And then just keep your neck at ease. Draw the shoulders down the back. Lift and lock that belly even more. Keep stretching through your heels. For 3, or 2. Last breath. And lower down. Bend your knees a little. Sweep your arms up and fold over the legs. This can be round. You might be able to straighten your legs today. You might not. Just relax the head Breathe back through that heart shine and feel your sitting bones almost reaching behind you. Notice how the spine feels this morning. One more big breath. And then gently release. If the blocks are not on their lowest setting, turn them low. They're still going to stay sort of near the hips. This time we'll stand on the feet. Fingertips are facing forward. Inhale to prepare here. Exhale, feel your sitting bones. And then shift the groundedness down into the feet, the Pada Bandha, the foot lock. Push into your feet, lift your hips. And you might need to reorganize at the top. And reach up and look over your knees first. Let's not stress the body and to the neck too much. Roll your shoulders back and down. Again, you have that belly lift. Squeeze your glutes. Draw your inner thighs down toward the earth. Root into all four corners of the feet. This can be a challenging pose. If your head is happy, maybe let your gaze come behind you. We're going to try to stay for 3 breaths here. Keeping the hips level, pushing hands and feet down. One last breath. And then tuck your belly in. So round your low back. Pull your belly back through the blocks. Pull the toes up and sit. Nice job, guys. Beautiful job. All right. Let's release those blocks. Come on down to our back. Give your knees a little hug. Make some circles with the ankles and knees, if you wish. Gorgeous. We're going to get into some abdominal wake-ups because although this root chakra isn't fully about the abdominals, they're certainly a part of that whole system. So hands are going to come behind the head. Feet are relaxed on the floor. Lift the toes and place them down. Lift the heels and place them down. Now feel your toes and heels reaching toward each other as the arches lift. All right. From here, we inhale to prepare. We exhale to curl the head and shoulders up. You can still be in neutral pelvis. Inhale to stay for the first one. Exhale, tuck your tail under and bring your legs up in the air. Gorgeous. Now drop the feet and curl up a little higher and then lower back down. All right, let's do that on a 4th breath pattern. So inhale, we curl up. Exhale, we protect the low back and stretch the legs. Inhale, we bring the toes down, curling up a little higher. Exhale, we lower to the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, roll the ribs in and down. Exhale, protect that low back, bring it toward the mat as the feet come up. Inhale, tap the toes down, lift a little higher without pulling on the neck. Exhale, lower down. Just one more time. Inhale, curl it up. Exhale, tuck the tail, stretch the legs. Inhale, tap the toes, curl up a little higher. Exhale, lower to the mat. Beautiful job. Take your hands out like cactus arms. Spread your feet wide apart and let the legs fall to the left. Stay for our breath here. Feel open across the chest. And then take the legs through center and sweep them to the right. Open up the thighs a little, stretch the front of the hip a little. Back through center. This time with your feet almost mat's distance apart. Turn the toes in and let the knees fall together. Press them together. And bring the hands by your hips. This medial rotation is pretty safe unless you've had knee replacement. If you've had knee replacement, you may want to come to parallel. We're going to lift to bridge here. So trying to keep the inner thighs touching, we're going to press the hips to the ceiling. And stay for 3 breaths. Again, if this isn't right for you or it doesn't feel good, come to a parallel legged bridge. Beautiful. Now let's stretch the arms overhead. And then bring the right arm over the left. Hug the belly. Hug around your sternum. Now lift your heels and bring them in line with your toes. And then slowly roll down to the mat. Release the arms by the hips. This time, turn the legs out, split them apart in like a little goddess pose. Inhale here, and as you exhale, squeeze the hips up. Float the arms above the chest. Cross left over right. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze the glutes together and up. Now turn the toes in line with the heels and roll down through the spine. Nice job. Stretch your legs long away from you. Stretch your arms overhead. Pull toes to the ceiling. And with complete control, roll up to sitting. And gently release. Beautiful job. Let's breathe our way around to our hands and knees. You may want your blocks nearby. We'll continue to warm up. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips in table. From here, I want you to feel like you're really pressing the palms almost apart a little bit, broadening the shoulders, but then hug the forearms together. Inhale here, feel your neutral tail, and then exhale, only draw your tail under. Try not to come into cat, so keep that broadness of the shoulders. Really hug your belly up and feel that pelvic floor lift. Inhale, reach behind you to neutral or a slight tilt. Exhale, draw that tail underneath you. And again, feel that Mula Bandha, that belly lock. Inhale, reach back behind you. 3 more times. Exhale. Solid and still across the shoulder line. Really connected in the belly. And release. Beautiful. Last 2. Use your exhale to find that belly lift and lock. And release. 1 more time. And release. Set your tail back as far as you can towards your heels. And you may want to block for this. We're going to come into embryo pose. So block under the head sometimes is nice because you can really wrap your arms behind you, grabbing your heels. And just feel round. As you sit here and sort of surrender and breathe, notice what the most base part of your spine feels like. It should feel relaxed, sort of open, sort of round. And then notice here, in this instance, that the head is grounding you, either on the block or right against the earth. And it's nice to sort of turn the head side to side and massage across the forehead, releasing any pressure from your sinuses or headaches or tension or worry. So be really soft in your front body, and really open in your back body here. Just for one more big breath. Beautiful job. And now from here, we're going to unwind a little bit and stretch the arms out ahead of us. So we're going to move slowly here through the low back. I want you to really tune into the bottom of the spine here. On the inhale, start to unravel that spine and start to dip the hips just a little. Maybe neutral is enough for you, or maybe your low back is happy enough to come up into more of a bigger cobra, or almost an up dog. Exhale, hug the belly back, push into the hands or away from them and round. 2 more times. Inhale, unravel. Hold that belly lock as you drop the hips. Low back is supported and happy. Exhale, drag the tail behind you. Push the hands away. Just 1 more time, and it's really the range of motion that suits you. You've got to listen. If your back right here says, don't go further. 1 more breath. Gorgeous. Now from here, lift to neutral, tuck those toes, and push into your plank pose. That's it. Walk back till your heels are right over the balls of the feet. Feel your hands and feet equally tethering you to the earth, equally grounding you. 1 last breath, and then shift your way up and back to downward facing dog and feel into it early in class. Now in your downward facing dog, continue to feel your tiger paw hands. Ground your base knuckles. Hug your forearms toward each other. Spread those shoulder blades apart. Feel the belly lift and lock here, up and into the spine. 1 more breath. And then slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet. When you feel fully connected to the earth with heavy hands and head, unravel the spine, coming all the way up to stand. Gorgeous. Find your mountain pose. So let's bring the big toes close-ish together. The heels can touch or be a little spread. Roll those shoulders back and down. Open the heart forward without throwing the pelvis and hips forward. Gorgeous. We're going to do some heel stomps here. So as we inhale, we'll float up onto the toes. And as we exhale, we're going to really stomp into the earth. If that feels okay for your spine, and it depends on your floor as well. We want to feel the vibration in the bones, but we want to really connect to the grounded feet as well. Okay, belly lift. 5 times. Inhale up. Exhale, and let it go. Soften the neck. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. If this didn't feel good for your spine, you would want to set the heels down more carefully. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. I feel like I'm a little spring. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale. Sometimes it's nice to let it go. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale. Let it go. Beautiful. You may want your strap or band for this next part. We're going to come into tree. And you may also even want to add a little bit of work by standing on a block. Completely up to you. So I'm actually going to wrap this strap behind my low back in sort of the natural curve position. Your band will work too. My strap is a lot longer. I'm going to place the block under my right foot. Again, it's optional. If you have a really squishy block, it might not be the best for you. And then I'm going to step into it. You're going to lose my face a little, but it's not important here. I'm going to really lightly have a tiny bit of weight in that left foot. My right foot is really bearing my weight. I'm going to lift up and out of the block, making sure my foot feels grounded. And then I'm going to lift and cross that band under my thigh. Good. So it's already balanced. I might have to slide a little as I turn the knee out into tree. Now, what I love about the strap, and you don't have to love it too, is that it makes me really aware of the happiness of my low back. It doesn't make it not a balance, but my hip is really supported in this turnout. Gorgeous. I'm going to hang on with my left hand and then stretch my right away from the left knee. If you come out of it, just let go of your band or strap. Hold here. Feel the energy rushing up from the earth into the foot. 2 more breaths. If you want to challenge yourself more, look out over those right fingers. Last breath. And then slowly come down. Shake it out a little. I always love a good ankle roll, knee roll before I go the other way. All right. I liked the block. I'm going to keep it. It's got an adorable imprint on my foot. So I'm going to shift it to the other side. The first step is really mentally and physically shifting that work into the standing leg. So my other leg is barely tapping here. I'm going to rise up out of the foot on the block, just drawing the energy without sinking in. Band is on my low back. I'm going to pull that right knee up, cross the band behind the thigh. Now, I don't want this right behind the knee. That's not going to serve me well. And once I feel ready, I'm going to turn it out a little. Gorgeous. I'm going to use that right hand to hold the strap, stretch out through my left fingers, and breathe. Now you don't want to really be right on the knee. The strap might help you bring the foot a little higher, but we're throwing a lot at you at once, right? Block, strap, everything. So concentrate on the sort of spiral energy. Foot and knee, hand and spine. Lift that belly lock up. Stay for 2 more breaths if you can. Remember, gaze can come out for those left fingers. 1 more breath here. And then loosen your grip as you come down. Beautiful job. And just notice? Did one side of your body just enjoy that more? Was it a little more stable? That's totally normal. Beautiful job. Okay, we can put our strap aside for a moment. Come toward the top of your mat. You may want some blocks nearby. Let's flow a little. Inhale, breathe up. Exhale, bow over those legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold and plant your hands. Step your left foot back and spin the heel. Now make sure that your front foot is really sort of bisecting the back arch, and then windmill your arms up to your warrior two. Now here, you might not feel perfect immediately. That's okay. So when we arrive, we're going to turn the palms back and press the heart forward, drawing the shoulders to the spine. Good. Then we're going to turn the palms up and drop the shoulders down the back. Yes. Then we'll just flip the hands down and gaze over the front middle fingers. Yes. Now, think about your root here, the bottom of your spine, dropping straight down. Encourage your arm muscles to sort of cling to the arm bones. And now, don't move your spine a lot. Just shift your weight forward a little into the right foot. Feel that right foot connected to earth, and then back into the left foot. Forward into the right foot, back into the left foot. And then equal footing, equal grounding. Beautiful. Make sure that spine is just straight, nice and vertical over the legs. Let's roll this front femur bone open so the knees reaching to the pinky toe. I find warrior two hold a challenge after a little while. Maybe you could go a little deeper. You might have to reorganize that foot, but keeping the tail long and the groundedness equal in both feet. Gorgeous. Now we're going to hook that front arm and take the left arm up overhead. And then we're going to slide this down to the earth in a little fist. This is really hard for you. Put a block there. Sink into that front leg a little more. Yes, right angle. Now push your right forearm into your right shin and push your right shin into your right forearm. Energy there. Now notice, did you back away from the back foot? You want to feel the equal grounding, right? Use your breath to let go of any anxiety. Beautiful. One more big breath. And then we're going to lift right back to that warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg. As we reach out with the right hand, we're going to tip up with the left hip, coming into triangle. Now, if you did the work well in the side angle pose, triangle might feel really nice, like a nice welcome place to land. It's very easy to lock this knee, so let's not do that. Let's focus in on opening up and stacking the torso. You feel like a big stretch down the left side of the lumbar spine. One more big breath here. Gorgeous. And then sweep your arm back down, bend that front knee, come into runner's lunge. So the back heel lifts, and we sort of hover here. Now this might feel a little different. We still want to feel the 2 feet, but we've got a little more invested in that front leg. So lift the belly away from it, long spine. One more breath here. Gorgeous. Now plant the hands and step that front foot back to high plank. Let's feel that equal grounding. Love plank pose, such a strong pose, right? It's not only strong, it fosters creativity. It's great. One more breath. And then place the knees down. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Turn your pinkies in. Step one foot forward and low, other foot forward and low to chair. Oh, I love me some chair. Now, in chair, let's take the shoulders out of the equation a little bit by grabbing strap and reaching behind us. We're staying low. We're staying into the feet, all 4 corners. Now, notice what would connect you to the earth if you were sitting. Is the tail throwing away, or is it gathering energy in toward the midline? Those sitting bones want to touch here. Stay for 3 breaths. For 2 breaths. Last big breath. And release. Let that strap go and forward fold. If gorilla is available to you, take it. So we're going to lift the feet and bring the hands under, palms to soles of feet, toes touching wrist crease. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your head relax forward. And if this doesn't feel good, just bring your hands out from under your feet. Now in gorilla, this takes a little courage. Shift your weight forward toward the toes and then back toward the heels a little. Just 1 or 2 more times. You got this. Relax that head. See if you can lift your tail up to the sky a little bit more. And then gently peel the hands away. Bring them to the hamstrings. Give your hamstrings a rub. See if you can get a little more length there. And then heavy hands, which should feel heavy after your gorilla. Tuck your tail under and roll up through the spine. We're ready for the other side. I'm going to turn just so my correct side's towards you. Top of the mat. Inhale, breathe it up. Exhale, bow it down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step right leg back, turn the toes open. Remember, the left heel wants to dissect the right arch. Windmill up to your warrior 2. Now, when you're here, you can get into the feet first. So feel your way. Breathe those arms up. First, we'll turn the palms forward. We'll open the shoulders into the spine. Then we'll turn the palms up. We'll drop the shoulders down. Then we'll flip the palms down. We'll gaze over that middle finger. That's it. Lift your belly so your spine is long. Shift your weight forward into the foot a little and back into the back foot. Not a big movement. Forward just a little. Back just a little. Now this time when you feel equal footing, I want you to feel like your feet are trying to pull the mat apart. Again, rolling that front femur open. Arm bones clinging to the arm, muscles clinging to the arm bones. One more breath here. So it should feel very energized before we add on. Gorgeous. Now we're going to hook that front elbow, reaching right arm to sky. I have a little more space available to me in side angle. I'm going to slide that fist to the floor or a block. I'm going to push my left forearm into my left shin into left forearm, and open my heart. Try to be always aware of what's grounding you. So right now it's feet, a little bit of hand. Gorgeous. This is such a nice combination of stretch and strength, I believe. One more breath, then breathe it up. Gorgeous. Straighten that front leg, reach your left arm forward, kick your right hip up, tip into triangle. Again, protect this knee a little. Now, a block can be great here, especially if it's really hard for you to feel open in the torso, open and stacked. Do what's right for you. Maybe 3 more breaths. Maybe close your eyes. Just go inside a little bit. Maybe return to that ah breathing. Let any tension melt away. One more breath here. Gorgeous. And then sweep your arms to the top of the mat. Turn that back heel up for runner's lunge. Feel that chakra kick in. Feel that energy as the belly lifts, as the feet and the belly lock. Lots of good energy. One more breath. Hands to mat, step back, high plank. Breathe into your high plank. Yes, that's it. Feel the hands and the feet grounding you. One more breath here. Now drop those knees. Sweep the arms up overhead. Actually, let's just grab the strap. We know where we're going there. and roll the shoulders back and down. Come on up. Step 1 foot forward and the other into your chair. Yes. So chair. We see a lot of funny knee stuff in chair. Squeeze your glutes together. Feel your glutes sort of cling to your sitting bones. Make sure your low back is not arched, but that belly pulls up. Again, that pelvic floor lift. Maybe you get a little deeper this time. Who knows? One more breath. And then stand up tall. Nice work, guys. You might want to put your strap aside and get your blocks ahead of you. All right. So we're going to come into a little side lunge. So I'm going to turn my toes out a little bit. I'm going to bend into my right leg. All right. So my left leg's nice and long. First, I'm going to bring that left hand to the floor. Big twist open. Stay for a breath. Now here's where you may want a block. What we're going to do, just keep it close, is pivot onto that left heel. Now my right heel lifts. Some people can keep their right heel down, which is just lovely. I'm going to keep my right hand inside my right thigh on the block and side bend. Oh, now this could be on the floor too. I've got a lot of energy in this long left leg. And it is a bit of a balance buster, so be kind to yourself. Opening that heart. One more breath. We're going to move slowly to the other side. You might be able to do this in prayer. Lifting up and coming into your side lunge. That's it. All right, this time we drop that right arm. Twist. Let that inner thigh open up on the right. Open your heart. One more breath, really wrap those ribs around, feel into your feet. And then take the block a little closer to you if you like that. I'm going to just sort of pivot onto that right heel. Come on down. I'm going to tuck my left elbow into my left thigh. Side bend. Ah, I love this one. Toes to ceiling. Could you put your foot down? You could, but I like the active leg better. Maybe gaze up even a little. That's it. One more big breath. Now we're going to slowly move to center into Malasana. And I'm going to use blocks. You know I'm a fan of blocks for Malasana. Yes, here I am. Now I'll tell you why. We're going to play with the groundedness here a little bit. But I want you to feel this hip opening. I want you to feel your feet and your sitting bones. Now, if you don't use a block, that's fine. Your sitting bones will just be suspended, if you will. I'm going to bring my fingertips together, but my palms apart. I'm going to keep opening my heart forward, reaching my sitting bones behind me, and I'm encouraging a little openness in my hips. Only if that feels good for you. Another option, if this is really tough for you on the hips, is to sit up taller and grab the shin bones. That's it. 3 of those letting go breaths. Time is a flying today. Notice your feet. Whether you're using blocks or not, notice what the natural tendencies in the feet are here. And then if you're open to a little bit more, can you draw those sitting bones together? Create some energy at the root chakra. So a big, well, it's nothing new, but sort of a practice in parenting right now is to have your children practice grounding by making sure they literally get their bare feet on grass and soil and nature for a lot of reasons. Some of it is vibrational. And it reminds me of sort of my need to touch base with nature often, with the things that fill my soul. when I'm feeling all of these ways that this energy center can be out of whack, when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling afraid or scattered, these are things that can bring me back. Walking in a forest barefoot? Sure. How about a beach? Even better for me. But knowing some of these things, like yoga, for me, music too, even scents, certain scents that can bring me right back. It's like a lasso, bring me right back. One more breath. I know this is a lot of malasana. All right, beautiful. We're going to carefully come out of this. If you can stand, if you've got enough in the feet to let it happen, push into them and rise. Gorgeous. And then shake it out. We're going to start to make our way down to the mat. I want time to do a few restorative things. Offer you a little meditation before we have to wrap up. Let's vinyasa down. Inhale, let's breathe. Oh. Exhale, fold and bow. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold and plant the hands. Just step the knees back to table. That's it. One big cow. Lift those hips. Present your heart forward. Widen your collarbones. Widen your sitting bones. And then exhale, a big cat. Oh, the opposition. Tail down, narrow sitting bones. Drippy head, drippy crown. One more breath. And then gently release. Beautiful job. So we're going to come to a supported child's pose to start. So I have a couple things at my disposal. You're going to use what works for you. I want to feel my sitting bones really connect to my feet, and your legs can be narrow or wide. It's up to you. But this pillow is going to just give me a little extra, and then I'm going to really walk my hands away, but make sure my palms stay connected to the earth. Now, you could drop your elbows, but the palms you'll feel more with the elbows lifted. If your head struggles to meet the mat here, use a block. Now, once you're there, I know it's really easy to effort in the hands. Use the hands for a minute to sort of encourage tail length away from the hands first. And then feel them connected, but allow them to relax a little. Relax your head and neck. Yeah. Stay here and breathe. Here's a little meditation for you. Check in with the earth. Notice that the earth will hold you. Are you resisting this support? If you are, relent. Let the earth support you. Let something else carry you for a while. Carry your burdens, carry your worries, carry your nervous energy. Humbly let go. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Last breath here. And slowly walk your hands back. Come out of this carefully with self-care. And swivel around to your seat. Again, blocks nearby are helpful. Let's have one nearby and one between the knees to start. So we'll sit up nice and tall. We will again connect those sitting bones to the earth. Make sure your feet aren't too far away from you. And let's bring the toes up. So we're thinking heels and sitting bones. Draw your femur bones into your hip and lift your heart. Good. Now really slowly, if you can, release your hands forward. Feel this connection. Squeeze in on that block so your hips don't work too hard. Feel that pelvic floor lift away from the thighs. Now tuck your tail under ever so slightly. Roll to the back of your pelvis and hold. Keep squeezing in. Your heels can come a little closer, that's fine. Now round even more in that low back. Feel the hips try to roll toward the ribs and really feel that lift. Start to generate a little heat under your navel. Maybe even a little energy at the very base of the spine. Come down a little bit more. Now your low back lands. But that's about it. Keep stretching. We're going to come down in 2 more parts. Lower a little bit more. Keep the shoulders up off the mat, but feel the ribs down. Squeeze in on that block. Reach the fingers. And then lower the rest of the way. Take that block in your hands. Lift your hips and place it under your hips for supported bridge. Good. Move around until you feel that this heavy mass of hips and low belly is truly supported by this block. You shouldn't feel any tension in that at that sacral iliac joint. So if it feels a little wonky, your block might be too high, or you might enjoy something a little softer, like a pillow. It's just a gentle lift. Stay here and breathe. That's it. Now from here, I want you to imagine a red light at your tailbone. Imagine that this red light feels warm. Right at that very base of your spine. Imagine where this root chakra lives. Imagine that color red, a pleasant red, a warming, a loving red. And imagine it start to move up your spine. Let the block or the earth or the pillow take the weight of your hips. Are you resisting? Ask yourself that question again. Perhaps close your eyes if they're not, and imagine that red light swirling up the spine until it comes all the way up, filling your head with a lovely warm light. Feeling the red light behind your eyes even. Maybe you can see it behind the eyelids. Stay for 3 more breaths. Let this restorative work do its work. Gorgeous. One more breath. Good, now from here, you may be happy with your pillow or your block, or you may not want it at all, but we're gonna hug those knees into the chest. And then take the legs into the air, straight into the air like legs up a wall. If you feel like it's going to feel like work, you could use your strap around the balls of your feet or behind your thighs. But once you get there, I don't want you to effort too much. So it can be here, could be here. The whole goal of this is to sort of not effort. So if you can be happy without a strap, that's great. If you actually have a wall at your disposal, you could really bring the legs up the wall. So for me, I often get into this shape and I think, well, what do I need to do? Right? My type A personality wants to find work. What I can do is try to let go of the work. Try to let sort of the energy, imagine the energy of the sun shining down through the soles of the feet and up the length of the legs into that root chakra space. Imagine it cooling. Imagine the energy of the sun cooling at the back of your pelvis. And here, think to yourself, what are your foundations? What are the things in life that hold you up? The people, the things, the experiences, the places, the connections that hold you up, that give you a firm base from which to fly. Stay for 3 breaths. You could always bend your knees as well if it feels like a lot of work. 3 more breaths. After your 3rd left breath, bring your knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a hug. Maybe rock slowly side to side. Beautiful. The legs are going to come down. We're going to remove any props that are near us for right now. I'm going to take a block to the outside of my left hip. And I'll hug my right knee in, stretching my left leg long, give it a big, big hug. And then I'll use my left arm to draw that right knee across my body. And I'm going to set the block up. You might even want 2 blocks. It depends on how much rotation you have in your spine, because you do indeed want that right shoulder to still stay anchored. And then really play with the blocks so they come into a position for you that takes the weight of this leg. Your top hand can assist a little bit. But because it's meant to be restorative, we, again, don't want to work too hard. We want to set up and then let gravity sort of settle over us like a blanket. Relax the body, relax the mind. Sometimes the hardest part of this is letting go of the busy thoughts. Feel that twist and energy come up over your iliac crest, up over your hip here. Think about the left side of your body and how it connects to the earth right now, more naturally than the right as you twist away from the right. One more big breath here. And then gently unravel to your back. Maybe you want to hug your knees in again, both, as you rearrange your block or blocks to the other side. Then hug that left knee as you stretch your right leg long. Create a little openness in the hip before you take your twist. And don't assume that the same setup will work for you. I have much more rotation available to me coming away from the left, so I don't maybe need as much this time. Again, you still want to feel that tethering here of the left shoulder, and then allowing yourself to spool away from that. Again, feeling that warmth and that energy sweep up over the hip. And let your neck just be happy. I didn't address that last time. It can be straight up, it can be back to the palm, whatever you wish, but close your eyes a little and connect with the right side body now. How a lot of the weight has shifted there. Stay for 3 breaths. Still trying to let go, still trying to stay tethered to the present moment, allowing yourself this gift. So elusive to me, that concept that the present moment is truly all we have, yet it's constantly eluding us. Being present is one of my greatest challenges, but also one of the greatest rewards for me. And yoga helps with that. All right, gently release. We'll come into our final position before Shavasana, which is Supta Baddha Konasana. I will encourage you as you bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart to perhaps use blocks, because again, this should feel very restorative. You can put a pillow over your eyes or under your head. Turn your palms up and feel what your feet that have grounded you through so much of class, feel them pressing together. And then feel, although your sitting bones are in a slightly different orientation with the hips turned out, feel them as well. Feel them try to settle to the earth one last time. And once you've sort of felt the sitting bones and felt the feet, just melt. And I'd like you to try to focus on your nose. As you inhale and exhale through the nose, both ways if you can, try to really be aware of the air in the nostrils. Really try to feel the air in the nostrils. Focus on this constancy of breath, this gift that breath is. This natural rise and fall, this natural ebb and flow, this natural exchange of oxygen that we often don't even think about unless we're holding the breath. Think about how we have that promise that as long as you are here, your breath is here. What a gift. Be aware of the whole back of your body being supported by the earth, being held up, being grounded. Your heart forward, free to fly. One more round of breath. And now you can stay right here. You can settle into your final Shavasana. If this position isn't right for you, I invite you to take any restful shape that you need. Traditional corpse pose is just stretching the legs to the corners of the mat, rolling the shoulders back into the spine, softening the chin toward the chest with the palms up. Plenty of space available in the shoulders and hips. Lay here and rest and feel the earth holding you up one last time.